Hello and welcome to Ebenezer Cottage Garden. As we all know, autumn is a fantastic time to be clearing out your garden. And if you haven't got a shredder, think about getting one because it takes all of that material, this all comes from cutting hedges, it just turns it into a mixture of wood chip and the leaves. So you've got that mixture of brown and greens ready to go onto your compost heap. It's a nice, good bounty there for half an hour's work. And the plan for me today is to continue doing a bit more of this, but also to empty out my small greenhouse of tomato plants. And whilst I've got the wood chipper out, I'm going to throw them through here, mix it up with this and get it onto the compost heap. Once that's sorted, we'll plant out some garlic. So we're in the small greenhouse now. There's quite a few plants, probably about 15, 16 tomato plants. I'm going to start by removing all of the green tomatoes and then we'll move on to the reds, and after that we'll remove the plants. Here's about half of this greenhouse's tomatoes all in this tub. I actually think, looking at it now, it's probably a bit fresh to go through that chipper, so I'm going to manually chop this up, mix it up with all that stuff that I passed through earlier, and we'll get it on the compost heap. I've got my bag of kind of wood chippy hedge clippings and the tomatoes here. And it's not a bad little job to do this really, just sit here and chop things up, and realistically the composting process is going to do most of the work for you anyway. So I'm just going to chop these into here, sort of roughly really. There are a few little immature tomatoes on there, but I don't think they'd be at the point of making seeds. But you never know, nature does seem to sometimes find a way. So we'll get this all chopped up and take it over to the compost heap. I'll keep on adding to that pile that I've been building on today. There'll be plenty of waste from the garden, loads of greens and browns that I can throw on over the next month or so, and also throughout winter. But I have got this pile here behind me, which is brilliant. It's one I've been working on throughout the summer. There's loads of seaweed in here and all sorts of goodness that'll be put back into the garden. And I love that idea of recycling what you can as you go along from your own garden within your garden, because there's so much goodness that it's just tempting to throw away into, you know, the brown bins or your garden bins that you might have elsewhere. But that idea of reusing it just means that you get to put all of that energy and nutrients back into your own garden whilst reducing your carbon footprint. But when you are making your own compost, look out for things like this. I think that's a big, like ground elder root or something like that. Maybe even bindweed. So yeah, be vigilant. Anyway, let's move on. Let's plant some garlic. Now the tomato plants are out, I've just taken the opportunity to clear any debris off the surface and take out any just little weeds and things that shouldn't be there really. And the variety of garlic that I'm going for is Pink Germador. This is a soft neck variety, which means it doesn't produce escape, but it does produce nice large bulbs. Much like those that you buy in a supermarket, they tend to be soft neck varieties. And I've got the luxury of growing them undercover here in this greenhouse and also in the bigger greenhouse. So I'm hoping I can get a really big, nice crop for next year. Well, let's give it a go. This is something that I know is really basic, but a lot of people do get confused over it. So this is a bulb of garlic, and this is a clove of garlic. When you plant one of these cloves of garlic in the ground, and you want to plant them with that rough side down and the pointy bit facing up, it then turns into a whole bulb of garlic next year. And the reason why we plant them now, which is in autumn, is that they need that period in the ground with a little bit of frost and a little bit of cold, and that helps them separate out into all the individual cloves that you're used to having. Otherwise you'll just have one big one, and chances are you'll probably have one of them amongst the bunch anyway, but it just reduces the chance of it. So yeah, bulb, clove. Let's plant them out. Well, I think they're all going to be quite happy in their new home. I've had some really, really good results with garlic in this greenhouse, so I'm hoping I get some good results this year. I'm sure that'll be the case. Well, thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, do like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.